ERi-TV news broadcast crew and I, Delit Haya, are now ready for your daily news briefing at 10:30 local time. But first, let us catch up with the major headlines. Meeting on the objective situation in the homeland. New road connected Halhala with Imnit Ali. No debate over Chagos Mauritius to Trump. Israel bombs 4 Syria-Lebanon borders crossings. Proceeding with our reports. Eritrean nationals residing in Switzerland, Saudi Arabia and Qatar conducted a meeting on 15th, 16th and 18th January respectively to discuss the objective situation in the homeland and ways to strengthen organizational capacity. According to the meeting conducted by Eritrean community in Zurich, Switzerland, on 18th January, participants expressed their conviction to strengthen organizational capacity and enhance their contribution to the national development programs. Noting that strong and conscious organization is basis to all success, Mr. Habtom Zerai, chargé d'affaires at the Eritrean Embassy in Switzerland and Eritrea's permanent representative to the UN office and other international organizations in Geneva, commended the efforts being exerted by nationals in Zurich and its regards. Mr. Marhaw Takhlai, acting chairman of the Eritrean community, commending those exerts strong efforts for the development the community, stated that sustained efforts will be made to inculcate culture, history, and societal values among young generations. In the same vein, at the meeting conducted by nationals in Jeddah on 15 January, Mr. Abdurrahman Osman, Eritrea's Consul in General in Jeddah, gave an extensive briefing in political, educational, organizational, and diplomatic activities carried out in 2025, as well as programs planned for 2026. Noting that the program is to support Al-Simad, a boarding school in Wagret, is progressing well, Mr. Abdurrahman provided appropriate response to questions raised by participants. Likewise, a meeting conducted for nationals in Doha, Qatar, the Eritrea's Cultural Center, Mr. Ali Ibrahim, Eritrea's ambassador to Qatar, gave an extensive briefing on efforts being exerted to enhance the contribution and participation of the nationals in the national development programs, as well as on programs planned for 2026. The participants on their part expressed readiness to play their due role in the implementation of the 2026 programs. A new 7-kilometer dirt road connecting Halhal with Imnit Alim and Abu Nabutu Amlach in Dubarwa subzone was inaugurated in 20th January. The road was constructed by Project Adhalo with participants of the residents in the area. Engineer Daniel Girmatzion, head of the engineering of the Project Adhalo, said that the road, which was constructed with strong machinery support, is part of the ongoing effort to ensure societal warfare to remote areas of the country. He also commended the contribution of Imnit Alim Development Committee in the implementation of the project and called for regular follow-up to ensure its sustainability. Members of Imnit Alim Committee and representative of the village in Adi Zbai and Adi Nukha commended the meticulous work carried out by Project Adhalo and expressed their conviction to strengthen participation in similar future development projects. Imnit Alim is located 8 kilometers southwest of the Dubarwa town and is a home to over 1,800 residents. Straight ahead is our international news. Dear viewers, thanks. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The sovereignty of Mauritius over the Chagos archipelago is undisputed and should no longer be a subject to debate, the African country's Attorney General has said. Gavin Glover made a statement in response to US President Donald Trump's remarks over the UK's decision to relinquish control of the Indian Ocean territory to its former colony. Chagos archipelago, comprising more than 60 islands, was separated from the Mauritius by Britain in 1965, 3 years before the East African countries gained independence. In 1966, the largest island, Diego Garcia, was leased to the U.S. for military use, and around 2,000 inhabitants were displaced. Mauritius has since sought to reclaim the territory. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer signed the agreement transferring sovereignty of the island to Mauritius in May 2025. However, the deal allowed Washington and London to retain control of the joint military base in Diego Garcia for the initial period of 99 years at the reported total value of $3.9 billion. In this statement on Tuesday, Mauritius Attorney General Gavin Clover said that the deal was concluded and signed exclusive between the UK and Mauritius, adding that the US had described it as a historic agreement. Israel said it attacked 4 crossing points in Syria-Lebanon border, saying they were used by Hezbollah to smuggle weapons, following earlier attack on southern Lebanon that killed at least 2 people and injured almost 20. The latest Israeli violence in Wednesday comes despite the U.S. brokered ceasefire, which needed more than a year for fighting between Israel and Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon in 2024, and which Israel has repeatedly violated. Israel is pursuing a political and systematic aggression by carrying out strikes on inhabited Lebanese village in a dangerous escalation that directs targets civilians, Lebanese President Joseph Aoun said in a statement late on Wednesday. The Lebanese Minister of Health said that 19 people were wounded in an Israeli airstrike on southern Lebanese town of Kantari. The Lebanese military said such attacks hinder army efforts to complete the disarmament plan for Hezbollah, which was part of the ceasefire agreement. Hezbollah has rejected calls surrendering its weapons aimed at ongoing Israeli attack, which have killed more than 350 people in Lebanon, despite the ceasefire signed in November 2024, according to the tally of casualties from AFP. Now let's report. Authorities in Australian state of Victoria on Thursday issued a warning of a severe heatwave forecast to start in Saturday, with the temperature in rural areas expected to approach record high. Victoria's Emergency Management Commissioner said at a press conference in Melbourne on Thursday afternoon that hot and windy conditions forecast to hit the state from Saturday will bring a return of extreme bushfire danger. According to the Bureau of Meteorology forecast, the maximum temperature in Melbourne is expected to reach 40 degrees Celsius on Saturday and 42 degrees Celsius on Tuesday. The country's fire attorney has declared an extreme bushfire rating for Victoria's west and southwest on Saturday and for the state northeast on Sunday. It comes after a severe heatwave early in January caused a widespread bushfire crisis in Victoria, which more than 400,000 hectares of land burnt and over 1,000 structures damaged and destroyed, including 434 homes. CFA Chief Officer Jason Huffman said that fire conditions during the looming heat wave do not seem as severe of catastrophic conditions earlier in January, but warned that fires would still spread rapidly. Dear viewers, we've come to the end of tonight's news. Let's have a quick recap of the headlines. Meeting on objective situation in the homeland. New road connecting Halhal with Eritrea inaugurated. No debate over Chagos, Mauritius to Trump. Israel bombs 4 Syrian-Lebanon borders crossings. This has been the news from ERi-TV studios. This has been the Sahara reporting. Thanks for watching and have a good night.